One thing is holding back the Bitcoin miners from running. We're going to talk about that this afternoon. We also have the September production update from Mara as well as Bitfarms. But before we get going, smash that like button, subscribe if you've been with us a while and haven't done so yet. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description as well as the channel bio. We've got some new products on the store for you to see here. And with that said, let's get going. So first of all, what is potentially holding back the Bitcoin miners right now? This chart right here has a lot to say about that. This is the Bitcoin average mining cost chart via macro micro. And if we come over here to what the current cost is, you can see as of, let me get it on there. It's hard to, there we go, pinpoint it. All right. As of Tuesday, October 1st, 2024, the average cost to mine a Bitcoin is $77,397.77, while we are currently teetering on $60,000 in terms of what the actual price of Bitcoin is. That is a just over 27% discrepancy that the miners are potentially losing. Now, that doesn't mean every single miner is costing $77,000 to mine a Bitcoin. That doesn't mean that. It just means the average cost is, meaning that one of the reasons that we could be lagging in our price action on some of our miners is the fact that the cost to mine a Bitcoin is significantly higher than the current price of Bitcoin, meaning that those are currently not necessarily attractive investments for larger institutions and other big investors. So we want to see Bitcoin flip this price here and actually be significantly higher than the average cost to mine a Bitcoin. And now this is a result of the halving coming through, making it much more difficult to mine Bitcoin and making it thus more expensive to mine. So this is holding us back. We want to see this chart flip, and we will check it occasionally to see it when it does. All right, let's move on to Mara's September production update. So they increased their hash rate by 5% this month, up to 36.9 exahash. Now, that's not necessarily what they were operating with, but that is what they have energized. Remember, Mara and Riot both tend to have like maybe between like 70 and 80% of their fleet actually hashing compared to what they have energized. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that continue to be like a 31 operating and 36 energized, almost 37 energized, but they are well on their way to their 50 exahash target. That is pretty great. They had a 6% increase of blocks won in September. They like mentioning that all the blocks that they win as the largest publicly traded Bitcoin miner. And they also increased their treasury to 26,842 Bitcoin, being the largest holder of Bitcoin among the Bitcoin miners. So that's what's going on there. They're going to get real close. They're getting real close to 27,000. They're going to crack 27,000. And then before you know it, they're going to be at 30,000 Bitcoin in their treasury. That's pretty great. This does have me looking at Mara for a potential swing play here going up pretty soon. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking at it. Anyways, they are currently still on track to finish their 50 exahash goals for 2024. What else they got going on here? That's really it. It was a pretty quiet month for them, other than increasing their exahash by 5% and it continuing to increase their hodl. That's it. Yeah. So let's go look at Bitfarms. Bitfarms also had a pretty quiet production. They had a pretty wild month last month in terms of they closed their issues with Riot. And then also, hold on, let's go down here. I gotta go a little further. Where is it? Where's that last bit? What is going on here? This is September. Yeah, it's all the way at the bottom, I believe. No, it's not. Hold on. I will be there shortly. There it is. Okay. The employment dispute with their previous CEO has now been settled. So that is now in the review mirror. They have a new CEO. The lawsuit that they were wrapped up in with their previous CEO is now in the review mirror. Their lawsuit and troubles with Riot, at least for the time being, are also in the review mirror. They've got nothing but clear road ahead of them for Bitfarms. So all they need to focus on now is hashing more, stashing more, getting more Bitcoin going. So that's pretty great. That's pretty fantastic. They got their synthetic HODL up to 602 long dated Bitcoin call options. They've got a treasury of 1,147 Bitcoin that they're holding on to for the month, though. Let's go up here. For the month of September, they mined 217 Bitcoin, a drop from 233 the month before. Their exahash has remained roughly the same in terms of their operating exahash. Okay. Let's see. They did have a bit of a decrease in terms of their efficiency for the month. So that's why we're seeing less Bitcoin. That 217 versus 233, that could have to do with the difficulty factor for mining Bitcoin. Their average hash rate was 10.3. Okay. So with their exahash goals, they are on track still to achieve their 21 exahash by the end of the year. So that's what they're looking for. That's going to be pretty fantastic. They have been increasing their efficiency all the time here. You can see, let me find it. I know I'm all over the place on this one. The other one was a lot more organized. I have so much in my mind. Here we go. They had a 16% increase in energy efficiency in September by swapping out newer, more efficient miners all month. They're also working on energizing 10,000 Bitmain T21s with their stronghold facilities now that they've been that they've gone into an agreement with, and that will immediately increase their exahash by 2.2, taking them up to 13.5. Is it? Yeah, 13.5 exahash as soon as that is energized, and that's going to start going online here in the next couple of weeks here. So in October, we should see a significant increase in their exahash. That's going to be very exciting for Bitfarms. So that's what's going on with Bitfarms. They've got a lot of their troubles are behind them now, and they are charging ahead, increasing their exahash and their Bitcoin output. So that's pretty exciting for Bitfarms. Now let's look at their charts real quick. So this is what I'm talking about with Mara. I've been talking about this for a few days. I love this setup right here, this inverted head and shoulders. We had a shoulder back there in August, like late August, and then went into early September. We had a head, and right now we're creating that other shoulder right now, that right shoulder. As soon as we're up above the 200-day moving average, which is currently at $17.76, we are absolutely ready to launch back up into the 20s, maybe even low 30s on Mara. I'm very excited about that. You can see here that the momentum is coming up and getting pinched a little bit down here with the fast moving oscillators, the yellow and the blue. The purple's got to come down a little bit more, but they might cross it up on the way up and just drag it all up higher. And since the orange, the slow moving one, is all the way under 20, currently at 1941, that can move all the way back up to 75.80 before this thing curls back over on itself. So I do like this inverted head and shoulders setup on Mara. I am looking for it to come up, cross over the 200-day moving average, confirm up there, and then I would be looking for some longs on Mara going into Q4. And of course, nothing I say here is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. It's just my thoughts when I look at the charts. All right, let's take a look at Bitfarms now as well. So Bitfarms, its daily chart is very, very similar to Mara's. All right, I do like that. So it's respecting this trend line right now, but it has been riding it for a few days, this yellow one. Once it breaks out of that, it hits the 200-day at $2.18. As soon as we conquer that thing, we're going to be ready to roll on up higher here. We are back in this descending channel, this larger one right here that you can see that's been going on for months and months and months. We are at the upper edge of that channel. We have not yet successfully completely untethered ourselves from that descending channel. I think once we get back up above and make a new higher high over $2.30 here, I think we might finally decouple from that, at least for the time being. I don't see us coming back to that probably until the winter, if we can get up and above the 200-day moving average to start closing candles up there. We're seeing a very similar thing here with the momentum oscillators down here, the stochastic oscillators here at the bottom, kind of pinching at the bottom there. The purple one is starting to turn down pretty hard, while the orange, the slow one, is starting to turn up. That is a symbol of something of a bull flag when you see the three faster ones coming down while the slower one is moving up. That means the overall larger volume or larger momentum has yet to do its upswing, which makes me look at this and say that this could potentially also, just like Mara, be an inverted head and shoulders. We had that shoulder on August 5th, and then we came up, and then in September, early September, September 5, 6, we had a head, and now we're creating that right shoulder. And as soon as we find ourselves back up above like 235, 240-ish, we could see this thing rise quickly back up to $3, $4, or even $4 for Bitfarms. Okay. One other one I wanted to talk about today was, I believe, CIFR. CIFR was up big today. That's the only other one I want to look at right now. I don't have time to look at any others, but CIFR was up big today, and I like this setup right here. This is coming in with a bit of a bull flag. I like this. I like this a lot. Now, there's one little issue here, but first I'll draw out the bull flag. Bull flag is right there, and you can see it here. These oscillators, the stochastics here. The fast ones are they started coming down, and then the yellow collided with the purple and halted. All I need to see is this blue one come back up and above the purple, and this thing is kind of reignited for that bull flag, especially with this orange one starting to curl up. This could be also something of a kind of an ugly one, but it also an inverted head and shoulders. We got that shoulder there. We got this ugly head with a double bottom. Then we came up and we're making a right shoulder now. We need to get up and above 435, preferably 450. And then on CIFR, I'd be saying it is time to fly back up to, $5, maybe even as high as $6 before we run into some significant resistance here. Now, the only issue I see currently on this chart is that we are getting stuck between the 21 and the 200-day moving average. I would wait. Personally, I would wait until the 200-day moving average is conquered. It needs to get back above that and start closing candles above that. Otherwise, this 200-day could smack us right back down because the 200 is a lot stronger than the 21. All right, so almost 10 times stronger. Now, I don't know if that's actually true, but the 200-day moving average is stronger than the 21-day moving average. And if the 200 decides to smack us down, and the 21 will eventually yield to that if it cannot get through the 200-day moving average in terms of price action. So we're watching that carefully. It hasn't confirmed anything yet, but this does look like a bull flag on CIFR. One last thing I want to mention is I did get back into another Disney call here. I did that today as price was coming down. There we go. It came down to my white line. I got in just under it. I like this like tiny little hammer candle at the bottom of this move. It's not like as much of a hammer as I would like to see. I would have liked to see it get a little smaller, but that's okay. I'm looking forward to come up tomorrow around the 5-day moving average, maybe even a little bit higher. I'd like to see it come back up to the 200-day moving average in the next couple of days, which is up at $97. If we get any good news out of this stock here in the coming days, I would be looking forward to move up to 100. I bought that call out to December 20th at a strike price of $100. So I am looking for a potential $6 move in the next couple of months off of this thing. Now, of course, if I lose the 21-day moving average, which is currently at 92.87, I would be looking to cut my losses. If it quickly goes below $92, I'm just going to cut it off immediately and be done and wait for the thing to reset. But right now, I'm looking to potentially go along to the 200-day moving average, where I will reassess and see if it's going to come back down or continue on up. Or again, if I lose the 21-day moving average, I'm going to cut it early and wait for it to reset and see if there's a better entry later on. Anyways, that's what's going on. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video, check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio, and have a profitable day.